it's time to get all the business news because Aaron has joined us with some insolvency figures, haven't you, Aaron? And they're not particularly good, but we weren't expecting them to be.
Absolutely, Sue. We weren't expecting them to be. We're still waiting for more figures, but we've got at the moment, what we're talking about is second quarter insolvency numbers. Now, for individuals, we've seen a record number. Just over 33,000 people in England and Wales have declared insolvency during, again, the past 3 months. That is up from the last figure, just over 29,700. And so we're continuing to see an escalation in these particular numbers. If we look at the corporation, the company insolvencies just come through. Thank you, Mr. McCoy. They are just over 5,000 compulsory liquidations for corporations. So the last figure was just over 4,900. Again, we're starting to see this, and most of the experts telling us, as you say, we're expecting these numbers to increase, that despite these few shoots of, you know, possible green shoots we've seen over the last couple of weeks, that the credit crunch has been taking place or going on now for 2 years, and it takes time. There's the knock-on effect from the credit crunch takes time to feed through the pipeline. So compulsory company insolvencies up over 5,000, individual insolvencies up over 33,000. Shall we go straight away and speak to Bev Budsworth, who's waiting for us? She's the Managing Director of the Debt Advisor. Bev, welcome to BBC News. I mean, as expected, these numbers are higher. What do we take from this?
Yeah, the personal insolvencies now include the debt relief orders, which were launched in April. And this is for those individuals who've got under 15 grand of debts, under £300 of assets, and only, you know, less than £50 disposable. I don't know how it splits, but we were expecting about 2,800 of the debt relief orders. So,
Bev, not to interrupt you, I'm just seeing it now. It's just coming through. DROs are just a fraction under 2,000 for the second quarter.
Okay, so that means that the IVAs and bankruptcies are up on the first quarter. You'd normally see the second quarter dip a bit. So we have to look at why are the IVAs and bankruptcies up. I think the bankruptcies, it's loss of income, it's negative equity. You know, when you're in that situation, you can't actually propose payments to your creditors because, you know, you've got nothing to offer and you've really only got the choice of making yourself bankrupt. And you know, that'll be also, people are being targeted by advisors to make themselves bankrupt. It's something that you know, the OFT is looking at, and you know, people are being encouraged to pay thousands of pounds to dubious advisors to make themselves bankrupt. So, you know, that is something that needs looked at.
Absolutely. Bev, can I ask you this, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but some of the experts have been telling us over the past couple of days in the build-up to these numbers that we're expecting to see an increase because it does take that time to feed through the pipeline. And if that's the case, then can we expect to see these numbers continue?
That's right. You know, an IVA takes 4 to 6 weeks to get from instruction to creditors meeting, so quite a lot of these numbers will be filtering through, you know, from after Christmas, people realizing that they've just got no way of repaying their debt. So you would expect, I would think in the next quarter you would see a leveling out, but the DROs are new. There is a backlog, I understand, of DRO applications, and so they are going to push the numbers up themselves.
Okay, well, Bev Budsworth, from the Managing Director, I should say, from the Debt Advisory. Thank you very much for joining us.
Pleasure.